Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. Looks like we're getting our first green pill in over a week, which we anticipated after yesterday's video discussing the potential bottom for Bitcoin and putting my neck on the line to say that this is the bottom for XRP. Yesterday on Patreon, I told the Mastermind community members all the altcoins I was investing in during that dip, and since then all of them are up over 15% and my theta position is up 30% from my entry. What a day yesterday was. So now you can see why in yesterday's video I'd use that image for the intro, because when the market is fearful, the wolves get greedy. It's just another full moon in the matrix, and I'm sure by now you've been following my work for a while. You can see how all these methods work in harmony. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out. And make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious people to help grow this community. For those of you that want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, you can join my mastermind course. My email is in the description box to get in contact with me for access to the course. And with that being said, let's take the red pill. So, first things first, we've got a very nice bounce off of that lower level that we've seen actually before in late January. We'll touch on that in a little bit. Tomorrow is the full moon. The full moon will be on the 24th of June, and it's as ritual as it gets. So for those of you that have been following my work for a while, you know we've been using the moon cycles indicator. The moon cycle will switch later tonight into the full moon, and from there we will see a green transition into the next new moon. So the way that would look with this moon phases indicator is as such, and you can see right now we are in the red energy area. It's amazing. I've actually seen a couple people who've sent me other channels who've started using this indicator and given me a shout out. So that's really amazing to see that people are getting influenced by my work. Other analysts that are out there that are starting to use these more esoteric ways of visualizing the market and incorporating it into their technical analysis. So that's amazing to see. Also, even yesterday, apparently the guy over at Gematria Effect News, Zach, has made a video about Bitcoin, and a couple people actually brought up my work over there, and it's brought over some new subscribers. So if you guys are coming over here from Zach's last video, I greatly appreciate you stopping by and checking out what we're doing over here. And I believe that a lot of the things I feel are very similar to Zach's in terms of the videos that I've watched from him in the past. So it's great to see more like-minded individuals coming over here. Anyways, so we aren't out of the woods yet. Basically, between now and the 27th day of this month, which will be June 27th, I expect volatility. And I've been bringing this up mostly because the 27th day of this month will be the 177th day of the year. And in Gematria, the word New World Order equals 177. I'll quickly type that in. And you could see right here, the 177. Of course, tomorrow will be the 174th day, and that's why I said we're not out of the woods. So basically, tomorrow on the full moon, 174th day, and then we have a couple days after that on the 27th, the 177th day. Very important. Also, remember, New World Order has that 58 in Chaldean, like we have with XRP. So basically what I see going on here in the short term, if I had to turn off these indicators and just put on the 21 exponential, I'll actually hide some of these drawings to make this a little bit more clear in the chart. This orange moving average, the 21 EMA on the daily, I suspect will become our short-term resistance, and this could actually hit before this weekend. So we could actually pump up to this between now and Friday. There's a lot of reason for that, but essentially I could see that moving up and then a rejection possibly over the weekend. And then I believe once we surpass the 27th day of this month, we will start to see clear skies ahead. So a closure above the 34 EMA on the daily would actually indicate we start moving up to our continuation into the firmament, which is this dome, we've been seeing here, it's an 170-day resistance. So basically, if I put this in log, you can see this matches up perfectly where every single top on the cycle not only happened during a new moon, but it happened and it got rejected by this firmament dome. So I believe we will be seeing that break into the month of July, and that'll be our first time breaking through this resistance since the beginning of the year. It's pretty big. So this would indicate somewhat of a move for Bitcoin around this $42,000 level. Once Bitcoin can clear the $42,000 level, we're looking into what would be called the bull trap. And that bull trap, I suspect, could be between the 0.5 fib around 46,900 upwards of this golden pocket area. Again, if you're not too sure of these terms, you're newer here to the channel, I do have a course that is covering all of this information, so you could feel free to reach out to me if you want to learn more about that. So another thing that's really interesting is the pushback on this idea of Bitcoin moving up bullish even after making a lower low. And I do want to show you a time where this actually happened quite recently. Basically back here on the 27th of January, Bitcoin came down to below 29,000, wicked down there, and then essentially just rampaged to the upside over 100% over the next 25 days. Now, I'm not saying that Bitcoin's going to go up 100% in the next 25 days, but what I am saying is that it's very possible for this to happen. So when it comes to a recovery after a harsh pullback, this would be par for the course for Bitcoin. It's actually quite normal. And this would indicate a further continuation for Bitcoin dominance upwards of the 50 level. So right now we're sitting at about 47. That's pretty normal. There was a glitch today on the trading view where it went up to 49. That was just a glitch. Again, in very volatile markets where there's a lot of moving parts, it's normal for there to be glitches. So anyways, I do suspect that over the next month or so, moving into perhaps August, we should be seeing Bitcoin dominance in that 50 area. And that would be very healthy for the market, actually. Talked about that quite a bit. Even if you hate Bitcoin or you're a Bitcoin maxi, it doesn't really matter. I'm neither. I could care less. I'm not part of a cult. I'm here to teach people and make people sophisticated investors. And the only way that you could do such a thing is by removing your emotion and becoming a wolf. So essentially, this move is very possible. It's happened before. We watched it in front of our own eyes. It took 25 days, and that would be indicative of similar move that I see with bullish energy into the next new moon. Now, I see the next new moon coming into at least above $42,000 Bitcoin. We should definitely see a break of 42,000 before the middle of July. Of course, we could see 4 or 5 days before or after we could hit our cycle top, and I'll explain that really quickly by just removing all the indicators. Actually, let me turn these off and turn on the moon cycle real quick for you to see exactly what I'm talking about. And it would be right here, this moment where you see we have our new moon, which was actually a solar eclipse, so the energy was way different than a normal new moon. And we have 5 days after we hit the microcycle top. And right here would be another good example where it was very exaggerated. We actually had on February 11th, we hit in 10 days. And then some people have said, oh, it didn't work. Yeah, it worked amazingly, because right after we hit that top, we plummeted right down into the full moon perfectly. Okay. This does work. It did work for February quite well, actually. And if you were swing trading this, you would have nailed it. You would have made so much profit over the course of 40 days. So just disregard that noise if you hear anyone say that the moon cycles indicator doesn't work because of this particular outlier, because it 100% did. It's just those people are impatient. Now, if you're going to be using indicators, especially most people use lagging indicators, you don't really have much room to talk, because if you don't know about Gematria, numerology, astrology, these more deeper esoteric functions in the market, it's going to be really hard for you to rely solely on lagging indicators such as RSI, MACD, exponential moving averages, etc. So let's move past this, but essentially this move of a low $30,000 Bitcoin upwards of a continuation into new highs is 100% possible, and it's something that is no one could say hasn't been possible. And anyways, so before we move on to XRP, I'd appreciate if you guys take a moment and like this video. Much love. Let's move into the XRP chart. Got some interesting things going on there because yesterday I did call the bottom. I said that I believe 51 cents was it. And the reason why I felt that way was because the 15 number is quite important in Gematria with XRP. And we see the Chaldean on XRP as the 15. And then yesterday we had the 6/22/2021 being the 15 date numerology. And that's perfect. So yeah, I felt way more confident saying it was the bottom because of this confluence. Now, XRP could definitely go lower, but I don't see it happening now. I see this being the selling climax using Wyckoff. So essentially right here at $1.96 was your buying climax. Then you have this supply test where we have failures in the golden pocket range, then a move to the downside, sharp move back up, which would be indicative of a dead cat bounce. Then you have a lower low. That's the continuation and the completion of a dead cat bounce, which would be your selling climax. Your selling climax would just come back to the most traded range of the recent fractal, and that was textbook, this play. I mentioned before we even broke out that I suspect there is a huge possibility for XRP to come right back down to the breakout area, and that was 100% correct. Now, the other thing that was making me feel pretty confident about calling the bottom yesterday was because of the RSI getting into oversold on the daily. When RSI gets into this oversold area for XRP, it typically rebounds pretty nicely. And we saw a 27 read on the daily RSI. Now let's look back to the last time we saw that. The SEC crash. So essentially right after the Spark token theater, there was SEC theater, and all of this honestly had nothing to do with either of those things. It was just a technical pattern, and it was exaggerated by retail soft weak lettuce hands. Every time Edward lettuce hands lets go because the price action starts correcting to healthy levels, they drop the ball even further. People have said, hey, why are you always bashing retail? You're retail, blah, blah, blah. I'm not, open up your mind here. I'm not talking about you directly. I'm saying that you need to understand that you're part of an organism in this market. Wyckoff actually discusses it. In Wyckoff, when you're learning Wyckoff method, there's this composite man. And this player is what we've been calling the New World Order, the Jesuits, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, whatever you want to call them. Okay? The Vatican, City of London, Washington, D.C. However you want to categorize them, they're all one big player, and they feed fake money, fiat, and stable coins into an algorithm, and that algorithm moves everything the way it moves it, and the retail is part of the show. So it only gets more exaggerated because of leverage, futures, options, etc. But right now, the retail investor has access to leverage. So when the retail investor, I saw people yesterday commenting saying that they got liquidated in XRP trades, but you heard me saying ever since this correction, don't leverage trade right now. You don't know what you're doing, okay? If you just got liquidated, it's because you're not sophisticated. You're just doing whatever you're doing because you think it's going to go one way, but the market always goes the opposite. And that's really sad that it happens to people. No offense to them. I know they mean well, but they're not taking advice from pro analysts. They're continuing to go off of emotion, which is every time it starts to get exuberant, the market goes in the opposite direction. You need to play it safe, especially if you're using leverage. And it's quite sad that a lot of the bigger YouTube channels are perpetuating this idea of getting free Bitcoin by signing up to these leverage exchanges. I don't condone that. I think that's a horrible idea. I think that's how a lot of people lose a lot of money. And those guys are making a fuck ton of money off of your deposit bonuses. So any YouTube channel that's pushing this idea of getting you into leverage without providing you any educational material to use that properly, they probably don't have your best interest in mind. So it's a big reason why I don't talk about that. I am actually in the midst of developing a trading course, a sole trading course that I plan to release potentially in September or October. And that's because I believe that's when the market structure will be more able to navigate. Right now, it's a very difficult market to navigate for novice investors. And since this channel has started, I think I've gained a lot of people's trust in the calls that I've been making. So it'll be great, I think, to get it released sometime near when I suspect this market will start recovering into the fall time. But anyways, that's not as important right now. The kind of what I'm suspecting is going to be happening for XRP is it has just bottomed out into a selling climax. Then it will move into what's called the automatic rally. The automatic rally will be that bull trap that we're discussing. The bull trap would come up as high as the 0.5 fib, and it could get really exaggerated and go as high as the 786, which is the golden pocket territory. So I see that happening as early as the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th-ish, kind of before the 3rd week of July. I made a prediction video using Gematria a couple videos ago to discuss that. Go back and watch that if you'd like to see the exact numbers and the thesis around that whole thing. But in the short term, and we'll talk about this in videos throughout the week, we will have a lot of resistance coming in between 74 cents and 80 cents. And the reason why is that's where all of our key moving averages are. So I'll pull this up. Basically, a couple days ago, we did have a daily closure below the 200 exponential and the 200 simple moving averages. Since we closed below the 200 exponential, it's been cascading to the downside, falling through support, and now we've seemingly bottomed out. I would like to believe that, mostly because of how strong this bounce was. We're up over 20% right now from the wick low. That's not a sign of weakness. It's definitely a sign of buyers. Buyers came in strong at that 50-cent level. And I'm sure actually a lot of people had buy-ins around 46, and the reason for 46 was because it is the VPVR point of control. I discussed that, how that was a possibility, but if it happened, it would be very quick, very sharp, a wick that gets bought up almost instantly. But we're calling it, this is the bottom for now. After the automatic rally or bull trap, you come back down into what would be called the supply tests or potential spring. Now, we'll wait till we get there, but I do believe if we're gonna have a spring, it would most likely be in probably September. I was discussing this idea with Bitcoin because of the 58-day cycles. Every 58 days, we measure from an extreme bottom over to another bottom, and it almost matches perfectly. I could show you that really quickly if you didn't watch yesterday's video. But essentially what happened right here is we had our bottom before the bull trap here, which led to the sell-off. And if you measure from this wick low on the 25th over to 58 days, you get to the very bottom we had yesterday. Now, this means that if I go 58 days over, we're looking at another pullback around the full moon of August. And then I was suspecting, because this was a massive liquidity event on the 23rd of May, that it would also align 58 days later with the full moon next month. So basically it's just keeping, and it's giving a lot of confluence into this idea behind the strength of the moon cycle indicator. Every full moon from here on out is going to be pretty damn bullish, or bearish, sorry. Every full moon is going to be pretty damn bearish until we get past this September timeframe. The Shemitah will start out pretty bearish, and then I believe October we're going to see that recover. So anyways, I'm going to leave it at that for today. Quicker video than usual. For those of you that want to join the Patreon to get access to all of those exclusive posts and our Discord chat community, go ahead to www.patreon.com/watersabove. And the Mastermind course is available if you contact my email in the description box or the pinned comment below. Feel free to give this video a like and subscribe if you like what we're doing over here on this channel. Enjoy the rest of your day in the Matrix. Much love.